What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Hamis Tech. So today we're going to check out the S20 Plus, the phone that I've been using back and forth for the past 3 to 4 months, and give you a full review on it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So if there are two words that I would use to describe this phone, is that it is frustratingly great. It has tons of great features and it is a great phone, but it has one major flaw that we're going to talk about later. So first of all is the great display and build. You can see here it's a nice clean back over here. It's very nice to hold, it's very slim, and you know when you have this phone first time, you know you're going to hold a $1,000 phone and it feels very nice in hand. Going on to the front over here, you can see it has a nice curved screen over here. I would say it's one of the best curved screen you can get out there at the current moment. Probably the only way they can do it better is for Samsung to do it better. It still looks very futuristic, very nice, but again, you don't get any of those accidental touches nonsense. You're gonna get a very nice curved screen on the front over here. Going in a little bit deeper, you can see here the display is really amazing. I'm not kidding you guys, this is one of the best displays there is out there. You know, people always talk about the OnePlus, the Oppo Find X2 Pro, their screens are great, but they don't really talk about Samsung, and I always wondered why. And it's probably due to the fact that Samsung has been making a lot of great displays for so long. And you gotta keep in mind that all these companies like iPhone and everything, they get the screens from Samsung. So you gotta think that, you know, if you were Samsung, you would keep the best screen for yourself and for your flagships. And that's what you're gonna get over here with the S20 Plus. You're gonna get a 120Hz panel over here with up to Full HD Plus. If you want to go down to 60Hz, you can go up to Quad HD Plus, of course. And you're gonna get a very nice screen over here. You're gonna watch content, you're gonna enjoy it very much. Next up here is the great UI, the great skin you can have on Android 10 in an Android phone. I would admit this is probably better than the Oxygen OS on my OnePlus devices. You guys know how much I praise the Oxygen OS on OnePlus, but when you know you're paying $1,000 at the same price range, you want a little bit more features, and that's what you're gonna get with the S20. Over here on One UI, it's very easy to handle, it's very easy to use. When you get it first time, you know, it's very user friendly, so it's very nice to pick up. You have the basic features here and there, but you have a lot of extra features. You have quick share, something you can share between Samsung devices. You have stuff like, you know, one-handed mode. You have an always on display, and you also have DeX mode. This is one of the most underrated features as well. You do use it, a lot of it, in my Tab S6, and yes, it's a very nice feature to have in a phone like this. And you know, the longer I use this phone, the more I realize that there are a lot of hidden features here and there are a lot of small touches that Samsung kind of put into this phone over here that makes it a very good experience. You can see that it's more polished, more fine-tuned by Samsung in the One UI 2.1 on top of Android 10. And I do hope with their future updates with One UI 2.5, they will further improve this, because this is one of the best UI skins, I would say, in 2020. Next up here is the great cameras, and you guys have seen my numerous videos. I compare it with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, with OnePlus 8 Pro, with the P40 Pro, with Pocophone and everything else. And I would say definitely when I give this phone to anybody, I would guarantee you that they'll come back to me and say that this is a very good phone camera. Of course, you're gonna get a little bit more process with this kind of shots. You know, you're gonna get a bit more saturation in your shots, and it's pretty normal for a smartphone to deliver you this. Of course, you're not gonna get raw images most of the time. You might as well get a DSLR for that. But with a smartphone over here, this definitely does the job for it. You're gonna be very impressed, and it does give you very good shots. And also they have other great features as well. You have a IP rating on this, so you don't have to worry about this if you're near the swimming pool, if you want to bring it to the shower, if you're that kind of guy. No biggie on that, you can bring it there, and you know, it's well protected. It also has, you know, wireless charging over here. They did bump it up to 15 watts, which is pretty good. You guys know I have wireless chargers all around the house anyway, so I kind of like just to pop it there. I don't like to use the cable down here anyway. They also have their stereo speakers tuned by AKG, and I would say, you know, watching content like Netflix and everything else, it's always very nice to have, you know, more of a stereo sound, and I do enjoy it on the S20 Plus. But yes, there is one major flaw with this S20 phones, is with that chipset. You guys have seen that many videos online, on YouTube and everywhere else, where you compare the Snapdragon with the Exynos chipset. And take this for example. In Korea, where, you know, Samsung is the #1 brand there, that's where they were from, they did release their phones with the Snapdragon 865. They didn't even use it with the Exynos 990, which is their in-house chipset. And that kind of tells you a lot about where they kind of see their chipsets in terms of the market. And I am pretty disappointed that they didn't release the Snapdragon in more countries. Here in Malaysia, we used to get the Snapdragon versions with the Exynos, and most people of course go for the Snapdragon, but this year they kind of just put it with the Exynos versions. So it's a very hard phone for me to recommend because it's so annoying with the Exynos. It brings a lot of problem, brings a lot of heating issues, and you know, if you see in the comments most of the time, people complain about having a frying pan. Of course, it's not going to be a worldwide issue. In certain countries where it's a bit colder, I would assume, you don't really get so much of that heating issues. But of course, with this over here in Malaysia where it's super hot, you can see here I'm wearing a stupid beanie over here and I'm just sweating all the way inside, and you can imagine how much this phone is sweating all the way inside. So yeah, like for instance, if you're charging it with your phone, this phone really heats up a lot, and most of the time I have to put something cold, you know, just on top of it so that you can charge into a normal rate. And you know, when you're using it with casual usage, casual gaming, casual social media consumption, the phone heats up after a while, and you know, you gotta put the phone down. It's pretty annoying, and it kind of ruins the whole experience. You know, when you buy a $1,000 phone, you want to use the phone from the morning all the way to the night with not much issue. But with this, with the Exynos chipset, it kind of ruins the whole experience and kind of like just changes the whole perspective of it. You know, you gotta put the phone down. It's really very annoying. So that is my review of the S20 Plus. So yes, it's a very good phone, but of course with that chipset issue, it's a bit hard for me to use it on a day-to-day basis. I normally switch back between the OnePlus 8 Pro and this, and when this kind of heats up, I just use all the way my OnePlus 8. So yeah, do of course let me know in the comments down below if you're using this phone, what you guys think about it. I am still impressed with the S20 Plus. I can't deny it's a very great phone, but of course with that flaw I've just mentioned, kind of ruins the whole experience. So that's it guys, this is Dr. Hamis Tech. Do follow me on my socials as well, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. So that is it, this is Dr. Hamis Tech. Stay safe, take care, and wash those hands.